Legally in Love, written and narrated by C. Taylor, edited to meet YouTube guidelines. To purchase the unedited book, please click the link in the description. Chapter 8C. From John's perspective, her eyes darkened instantly and she nodded. The primal beast in him growled with satisfaction. He cupped her hips and her legs pulled around his waist. Her lips went to his neck. Edited for content. "You okay?" he finally managed. "Incredibly so," she confirmed. It took several more minutes before he was able to get off the bed. It was too soon and physically painful to leave her touch. She sat up and pulled her pants back up. "I think I'll start buying more dresses." He smiled while setting his clothes back in order. "I'm not objecting, but why? I believe that was a quickie?" He squelched a chuckle and nodded. "Turns out I really like them, and I think it would have been easier if I'd been in a dress. Maybe nothing underneath, but I'm not sure if that would completely work." She was thinking out loud again. It was quickly becoming one of his favorite things, but right now it was threatening to make him late for the office. Her in a dress with nothing underneath? Are you kidding? "I guess I could be sure to have them off when I wanted it." This made him groan. She was going to be the death of him. That sounds like a good idea. She looked at him. He was smiling, a distinct rise forming in his pants. She thankfully realized she needed to help him get to work. "Just a thought." "I have to go," he said, hating every word. She smiled up at him. "I hate it, but I understand. Is it okay if I stand you up for our lunch date?" "Depending on your closet, it may take me all day to fit my clothes in there." He took her hand and led her to the closet. The thing was very large, and his very sharp clothes only took up about a fourth of it. "I'd heard women need more room in the closet, so I've been very careful." Again she laughed. "Then I will make a disgraceful wife, since I'm pretty sure all of my clothes will take up less space than yours." He closed his arms around her from behind her and rocked them both. "In that case, maybe we should both go shopping this weekend and start filling this place up. It's a date." He liked the sound of that. He nudged her face with his head and indulged in one last kiss before breaking away and heading downstairs. She kept a hold of his hand and followed. "I'll be back by dinner. Spend as much time with Auntie as you want." From Emma's perspective, Emma shook her head and blinked. Had she heard what she just thought she heard? How is that possible? "She requested it. She said she's really missed you and had some downtime at the company." Emma smiled, remembering how close they'd been after they'd been rescued and before she married Christian. Then she started pulling away from Auntie after that, just like she had everyone else. Auntie's busy schedule made it exceptionally easy and heartbreaking at the same time. This returning to the land of the living was starting to have some perks. The dinner with John also sounded nice. "What time should I have dinner ready?" "I'll be here by 6, but I'm taking you somewhere nice, so you'll need to dress up." Her smile froze like a deer in headlights. Dress up? Other than professional, casual, or Renaissance? "Sure, I can do that." Emergency clothes shopping trip. Check. "Good, see you then. If you need anything, you have my number." He kissed her soundly and was through the door to the garage. She watched as he climbed into his truck and backed out. She heard the garage door start to close and couldn't resist running to the front room to watch him drive away through the front window. Their street, their house, their kitchen, and Auntie was bringing her clothes. She still couldn't quite process that this was her life now. Sometime later, Auntie's familiar presence for the rest of the afternoon meant everything to Emma. Her best friend was something that made sense in a new life she was still trying to understand. Auntie was a master organizer. It only took her a few minutes to have all of her needed food items put away in perfectly logical locations in the kitchen. Next, they tackled the closet, organizing her clothes, which to Emma was like magic. Everything was in its perfect place, but as she suspected, all of her things, including her costumes, took up less room than John's. As a female, she was such a failure. When they were done, which took an embarrassingly short amount of time, she felt more at home there than she had in the 4 years she lived in her condo. Auntie also went with Emma to find a dress for the evening. The dress they decided on was black, a spaghetti strap silky sheath with a lacy, long-sleeved overlay, ankle length, slit up the back, and strappy heels. The neckline was definitely lower than she was completely comfortable with, and the heels higher. She looked at herself in the full-length mirror. They'd both gone to the salon. The updo she'd picked had her thick hair gathered loosely at the back of her head. The makeup artist had given her something called a smoky eye for the evening that was balanced by the softer earthy tones for the rest of her face. Her mother would approve. Now this is a power look, she smiled to herself. It was almost 6. She left the room and started down the stairs. She heard the door of the garage open, saw his eyes as he came into the living room. He saw her. He froze. His face went blank. They stared at each other. She started to feel self-conscious. Had she made a mistake? This was a very different look than she'd ever done. Was he disappointed, disgusted, repulsed? Did she look cheap and easy now and he didn't have any respect for her? Ah, damn it, what had she done? She needed to fix this and fast. "I'm sorry, I'll go change," she offered and turned to run back up the stairs, scrub her face, and put on some overalls. "No, Emma, don't move." His voice sounded desperate. Now she was worried. What was wrong? She froze and glanced back over her shoulder. That's when she noticed he was breathing heavily. From John's perspective, John didn't know what to expect when he got home that night. He told her they were going somewhere nice, but he was mostly just really looking forward to seeing her. 7 hours had seemed like forever. He had a fix for that starting tomorrow. He heard her coming down the stairs when he came through the garage door, but nothing could prepare him for what he saw when he turned from the kitchen. She was an angel dressed as a temptress. The combination had his whole body shaking, blood rushing, and every muscle tight, demanding to have her now. If he moved, he would take her. Her look would be destroyed in a matter of seconds, and they would never make their dinner. If it hadn't been a dinner with Christian, he would have anyway, but there was a surprise waiting at the restaurant, and they had to attend. He needed to get himself under control, and fast. He still needed to change his suit and make it to the restaurant within the hour. Then she did the unthinkable. She spoke. The rush of blood in his ears made it hard to hear what she said, but she turned, showing the back of her dress and her rear, and he almost exploded right then and there. "No, Emma, don't move." Wow, that sounded desperate, but at the moment he really was. Her sweet face turned toward him. He could see the uncertainty in her eyes. He closed his eyes tight and took some deep breaths. He had scared her and needed to be there for her no matter what his body was demanding. "John, are you okay?" That voice, her voice, concerned for him, helped him slow his blood. "Emma, I'm sorry. You're stunning, and if you move right now, we won't make it to the restaurant." It was all he could explain as his body started to heat up. He hoped it would be enough. He heard her move, the steps getting closer down the stairs, then across the floor toward him. He braced himself. "Emma, please don't," he pleaded. Did she take his admission as an invitation? "It's okay, John. I'm just going to touch your hand," she explained. He remembered the moment in the kitchen days ago when she quieted the beast that was eager to pounce her at any moment. He felt her hand on his and nearly flinched, his body so sensitive. Gradually, though, his body calmed and he was able to open his eyes again. She was watching him, her hazel eyes practically glowing against the dark, smoky makeup there. Her other hand came up to stroke the side of his face and smiled gently back at him. "Better?" Her voice gentle and calm. How did she do that? She was still as gorgeous, her eyes right on him, but he was calm and his body was under his control again. He took a deep breath and brought the hand at his face to his lips and kissed her palm firmly. He knew it was the only part of her he could kiss at the moment without messing up anything they needed for the dinner. "Thank you. I need to change and you need to stay here. I will be just a minute." He waited until she nodded before leaving her side and bounding up the stairs. He smelled her in his room, in his closet, saw her clothes there, and marveled. Was this actually his life now? He didn't have time to get distracted. He grabbed a dark brown, more formal suit and changed his white button-down shirt to a black pullover. They needed to leave soon, but he also just wanted to get back to her. One last look in the mirror, everything was in place. When he came back downstairs, one look at her and he knew they were in trouble again. Her eyes caught his, she did a blatant scan over him, and her eyes darkened. He groaned. Would they ever be able to have a night out? He had a feeling not for the next year or so, at least if it wasn't mandatory, which tonight was. He slowed as he approached her. "I don't have your talent for cooling us off, but we need to go, and if you keep looking at me like that much longer, I'm not sure we'll make it." Her eyes lightened and focused back on his eyes. "Sorry," she said and turned red. He wanted to comfort her, but knew it would instantly backfire. He took her hand and guided her to the door. "Please don't apologize." This might have been the worst idea yet, but we need to go to this dinner. Any ideas of us going out at night again can wait a year or two. Had he just admitted that out loud? I support that 100%, was her breathy response behind him, and he had to suppress another groan.